Not only is Katie Taylor the greatest female fighter of all time, and I watch the fights. I've interviewed her multiple times. I've been to multiple fights of hers. But also, this was one of the greatest women's fights of all time, if not the greatest, especially the ending. Now, let me tell you something. We're here live real time, so we're going to show you some highlights, brief. But the DAZN, the broadcasters, sometimes they can get a hard on, you know, and like to try to copyright and take my videos down. But however, Amanda Serrano is good, great fighter, but she lost this fight in my opinion. Now, don't get me wrong. Excuse my language. Are the kids around? It's 11:06 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here. Got something in my eye. Are the kids around? Amanda Serrano beat the shit out of Katie Taylor in round number 5. Katie Taylor went away from the game plan, got stuck in the corner, and then started trading away with Amanda Serrano. That's no good. She damn near got her ass knocked out. Took her about 2 rounds to recover. But nonetheless, 6 rounds to 4 for Katie Taylor. And it could be 7 rounds to 3, depending. But once she got her second win, she landed the cleaner punches. It's just that Amanda, put it this way, this is the best Katie Taylor ever looked. Especially those earlier rounds. And here's the thing, if there's a rematch, I think she can do it again. And just don't make the mistake. Do not get into that corner with that girl. She almost got dropped, though, in the last 5 seconds or so of the fight. You know, we do have to address that. But these girls, they delivered. By the way, 19,000 plus in attendance. My colleague Donnell was there at the event, representing Fight View 360. You know, blessed to, you know, for us to be able to be a part of this huge mega event as an organization. Now we got to do it again. I'm sorry. So do they have interim fights in between, you know, or do they do it immediately again? And this time maybe in the UK. Or now Katie can fight in Ireland, right? It's time. By the way, if you don't know, I am half black, half Irish, and half Mexican. So, you know, like, this was a real big event for me and my people. And I understand what you're saying. It's 2022. I can identify as what I want to identify as. I check my ancestry.com. So if you don't like it, I can get you canceled. How about that? Anyway, just joking around. But yeah, we're going to listen to the post-fight interviews. Remember, I do my videos live in real time. So let's listen into the particulars. I want to hear these scorecards. Ooh. I want to hear these scorecards. It's time. Remember, we're here live real time. Chris Mannix, his cards were way off to me. He was the commentator and unofficial scorer for the fight. Listen in.
Appreciation out here for these 2 incredible fighters.
Take your time out. Like the video, subscribe. It's time. Let's listen to these cards.
After 10 incredible rounds here at Madison Square Garden, we go to the judges' score totals, and they read as follows. Benoit Roussel, 96-94, Amanda Serrano. Glenn Feldman, 97-93, Katie Taylor. And Judge Guido Cavalieri scores this bout 96-93 for your winner by split decision. And still,
she did it. 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 Crown her best woman. I'm going to say it. Best female fighter of all time. She did it. And she was the underdog. Like, people thought she was going to get completely demolished and outboxed by Amanda Serrano. She's been the boogeyman, and it finally happened, and she beat her fair and square in a close fight, but the right woman won. Now listen, we do have to be a little bit critical, though. We do have to be critical. This is great You know, shout out to Eddie Hearn, shout out to Matchroom, shout out to Katie Taylor and her journey. Now her actual movie, biopic, is going to be something crazy. Like her movie, like her actual movie, whenever they do make one. Shout out to the trainer for showing class. I mean, Serrano's trainer has a bit of a checkered history. But wow, this is amazing. I'm hyped. I'm hyped. I loved it. That's her mom. But before we be critical and talk about what's next, what if they come back? I don't think they're going to do it. Here, let me mute it until they get the interview going. What if they come back and do 3-minute rounds? But remember, Katie Taylor's the A side. She didn't want 3-minute rounds of this fight. I feel that a fight of this magnitude should have been 3-minute rounds, my personal opinion. I feel it should have been 3-minute rounds. But I dig it, you know. Katie Taylor, you know, I didn't like the reasoning, you know, because she said, you know, she wanted to get paid 3-minute round money, but at the same time, this is supposed to be the biggest purse in women's boxing history. Remember, they sold out 19,000 in Madison Square Garden as females in a boxing event, and making more than female UFC fighters. And that's what pisses me off when these MMA fighters talk about boxing is, you know, like, bro, like, no, like boxing, like these motherfuckers make real money over here. And now, you know, beautiful scenes right here. This was a mega event. Mega. Let's listen to the post-fight interview. By the way, take your time out. Like the video. It really helps us get up in YouTube algorithm. We're here every week covering these events. I got Shakur, Stevenson, Valdez next. We're going to be doing a live stream and to go over everything. A couple videos after this.
This was the biggest fight in women's boxing history. It played out like it. You get the split decision win. What's going through your mind right now?
What a fighter Serrano is. I think we're both runners here tonight. Look what we just done. Sold out of Madison Square Garden. The biggest fight female boxing history. And both of us have broken down so many barriers over our whole careers. And I'm just grateful to be in this position, really. What a fight, what a win, what a night.
This was a close fight through the first few rounds. In those middle rounds, it looked like Amanda had you hurt a couple of times. How deep did you have to dig in this fight?
I knew exactly that I had to dig deep in this fight. I knew going into it I was going to be in the trenches at some stage. She's a phenomenal fighter, a great person. And I have the heart to go to skill, and I knew it was going to be able to come true.
What kind of adjustments did you have to make during this fight?
Yeah, I mean, I was getting come back with incredible instruction from my coach, one of the best trainers in the world, Ross. I'm so grateful, Ross. Thank you so much, Rob, for everything. You're such a humble guy, but you're the best in the world.
Wait, Ross, what kind of adjustments did you make in there in the fight?
Early on, obviously, they were getting stuck inside as Katie started to use the ring a little bit more and kind of just apply her boxing. She wasn't getting pinned. I mean, Amanda can box as well, don't get me wrong, but like by not trying to allow ourselves to get stuck and cornered, it's a hell of a fight, man.
Katie, and see another sign of respect between these two great women fighters.
Happy we did this. What the hell we did? They say nobody wants to see women. This place is jam-packed. I appreciate all you guys for coming down. Irish Boricuas, you know, we put on a hell of a show. I knew it was Katie's a great champion. She's undefeated. She's the undisputed champion. But I'm truly honored to have shared the ring with you. You know, best versus the best. You don't see that much. And I'm just so overwhelmed. Look at this crowd. Women can sell. Women can fight. And we put on a hell of a show.
Amanda, at the end of this fight, did you think you had won?
I believe so. Of course, I won. I mean, I hit him with harder punches. I almost had an hour one round. But you know, it is what it is. I'm happy that we finally got this over with. I am the smaller girl. I am still the champion at featherweight. So, you know, it is what it is. The fans wanted this fight. I came up 2 divisions to fight the best. Who's a true warrior? I mean, that says it all.
Katie, I think everybody in this building and everybody watching back at home wouldn't mind seeing this again. How do you feel about a rematch?
Let's do it again, Amanda. two minute each this time.
Amanda, rematch?
Whatever the team wants.
Well, congratulations to both of you. Tremendous fight. Congratulations, Katie.
Thank you so much, Chris.
For women's boxing, we're trying to put women's boxing on top. And, you know, all of us have to come together. We can't have one.
Oh, they were on top tonight.
This is a women's sport that we're trying to grow together. We can't be against each other. Women's supposed to support women to make this sport big as it is.
Absolutely. Congratulations to both of you. Let's start with the two promoters of this event, Eddie Hearn, Jake Paul. Eddie, when you were reading the decision, what was going through your mind?
Eddie Hearn about to bust a nut, if he hasn't already.
We probably felt it was 4-all at the end of the 8th round. I thought Katie just edged the fight, but I felt like it could have gone any way. But, you know, tonight we were making history for the biggest fight in women's boxing, but they made history for one of the greatest fights in the history of Madison Square Garden tonight. Two women changed the game, but also provided us with a fight for the ages. And, you know, I know this man will want to run it back. I see a big rematch later in the year, but for now, Katie Taylor, a legend of the sport of boxing, and Amanda Serrano, so tough. This was a massive night for the sport of boxing.
Jake, what did you think of Amanda's performance, and how sure were you about the outcome of this fight?
It was a draw at best. We thought we won. We thought Amanda won. Amanda performed amazing, but a fight of a lifetime. That was Arturo Gatti versus Mickey Ward. You know, that was incredible. Both women fought their hearts out. This is a historic moment. The crowd's booing, but everyone's a winner here tonight, and I'd be mad if I was them too, you know. But hey, kudos to Katie Taylor, what she's done for women's boxing, and kudos to Amanda Serrano. You got to give credit where credit's due, and let's run it back. Like Eddie said, September, October, this fight, the second fight just got a whole lot bigger.
Eddie, you promoted all of Katie Taylor's fights as a professional. Was this the deepest you've ever seen her have to dig to win?
The 4th round, I thought it was over. She chose to stand in the corner and trade. I don't know, she was boxing beautifully. The 4th was treacherous, the 5th was tough. But she come back, and how she managed to win the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, the 10th was very close. It was just an amazing fight, you know, just a thrilling fight. And I said before, the way that women's boxing has longevity and sustainability is through its quality. And tonight, forget male or female, you just saw one of the greatest fights in the history of Madison Square Garden. Amazing, so proud of Katie Taylor, the greatest Irish athlete of all time, in my opinion. She's such a humble individual, such a great role model, such a great ambassador. And thank you to everyone for supporting this fight. Thank you to everyone from Puerto Rico, and especially thank you to everyone from Ireland for coming out and supporting this incredible fighter in Katie Taylor.
All these people from Ireland, all the people that came out do want to see it again. You heard these two women say, we want a rematch. You two are the men that can try to make it happen. How sure are you you'll see these two run it back?
You know what, Katie Taylor is, like I said, one of the greatest things to ever come out of Ireland. If we don't go back to Ireland for a fight before her career is done, it would be a big shame. I think we should run this rematch back in Ireland, you know, and let Katie Taylor fight for the first time back in Croke Park. We'll see what happens. We'll talk to Jake, but tonight, you know, forget me, forget Jake. These two, what a credit to the sport, what a night for boxing, and thank you to everyone that came out.
Jake, real quick, will Amanda go to Ireland?
100%. You know, she's a true champion. We're ready wherever, whenever. And clearly, the Irish fans are mad. So we got some unsettled business. Like I said, that was a draw at best. I thought Amanda Serrano took it. She had Katie hurt there a couple times on the ropes. So it is what it is. But obviously, Katie's the champion. So if it's a close fight, the judges are going to give it to her. But let's run it back in Ireland.
Biggest fight in women's boxing, it played out that way.
Well, it seems like that's where it's going. It's going to Ireland, where it belongs. Katie Taylor is the A side, and she gets to call the shots. Of course, Jake Paul, understand he is the promoter of Amanda Serrano, and he is a showman. So, of course, he's going to say that he saw the fight close, thought it was a draw, thought that his fighter won. You know, he's very good on the microphone. Everything he does is intentional. You know, you do have to say that. But in a rematch, who do you think has the better chance of adjusting? I think Katie Taylor, because all she has to do is not just stay out the corner. You know, she got her shit busted up. She was bleeding all over the stage. Like, come on, let's be real here. You know, like once I saw her go to the corner, I'm like, Katie, what are you doing? You know, head rocking back and forth. And I'm like, get out of there. And as you saw her, she started, this is the 5th round. She started walking her back to the middle. You know, it took her a couple of rounds to get her bearings back, but then she went back to boxing and check hooking. As we can see, she's not known to be a big knockout puncher, a hard puncher, but after a while, you know how the saying goes, you get hit with a pillow 10 times. First time it may not hurt, but that 10th time, this should start to sting. You see what I'm saying? You know, but overall, great event, 10 of 10. Franchon includes Dezurn versus Elin Cederroos for undisputed at 168 pounds. You talk about Midsommar, the Swede got beat up real bad. Jessie Vargas got a boot put in his ass. Vote for Vargas. He running for Congress. I didn't get a chance to see the Galal Yafai fight. I was taking a nap. Keyshawn Davis just got a win, it looks like. And we're going to see Oscar Valdez up next against Shakur Stevenson. But these women really threw down. Now, Katie Taylor has many options ahead, but right now I think they need to strike while the iron is hot and really get, like to this rematch. Because let's say, for example, after this, Katie Taylor can go to 140 and try to fight for undisputed there as well. She's already dabbled there before and won, I believe it was the WBO title. You have Chantel Cameroon, who's fighting next in a few weeks. She's 140-pound WBC and IBF champion. And you have Kali Reese, who has the other 2 titles, and they're supposed to unify, and then hopefully Katie Taylor can move up to fight them. Or you have Michaela Mayer, who is targeting a fight with Alicia Baumgartner. If Alicia Baumgartner beat Choi, for undisputed at 130, they can move up to fight Katie Taylor at 135. So overall, and yes, I remember the person who told me, I keep forgetting to bring up Chantel Cameroon. I did now. And then you have this rematch right here against Jessica McCaskill, who Katie Taylor beat, who she's undisputed at 147 pounds. So this girl's got a lot of fights out there, yo. Like some big money too. And now, is this the biggest combat sports event so far in New York since the pandemic? Because that shit was loud. My colleague, I was looking, he was telling me about yesterday at the weigh-in about how, it just doesn't do it any justice. Let me know if you were there at the event. But we do have to get to the main event of this Top Rank on ESPN card. I am T Street Controversy with Fight View 360. We cover every single major fight live. Take your time out, like the video. We're going to be doing a recap of Katie Taylor versus Serrano and the post-fight press conference later on, after the main event of the next card that's coming up. And shout out to the DAZN and Top Rank for not having these cards, main events overlapping. So now we were able to enjoy, fully enjoy Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano. And then now shortly, the main event for an ESPN fight, Valdez versus Stevenson, we'll be able to watch that. So I love that part. Take your time out, like the video, subscribe. I'm also going to be here next week for Canelo versus Bivol, covering that event, and then the week after that, Brian Castano, Charlo 2, Mayweather versus Don Moore. Yes, that's May the 14th. A Dubai card, $30. The week after that, 2 weeks after that, Tank Davis versus Rolly Romero. Shout out to Katie Taylor, man. I've met her multiple times, been to multiple fights of hers, and I've been covering her, her entire career. Just to see her, just any fighter start from where they started from and to get to where they are right now, to headlining big events outside of your country, and being like the biggest women's boxing event so far we've ever had. Shout out to them. Shout out to Jake Paul. Shout out to the DAZN. Shout out to the Dracul looking dude that be with Jake Paul, the promoter looking dude, looks like he's good with knives. There is Clarissa Shields. Hopefully her and Savannah Marshall can have 3-minute rounds and, try to upstage this event, because now the spotlight is going to be on their super fight that's supposed to be taking place in the UK sometime this summer or so. So we'll see how that plays out. I'm T Street Controversy with Fight View 360. Thanks for watching. Like the video, subscribe.